What's going on, Tallahassee? We finally made it to the month of March. Welcome to our Friday, March 1st edition of FSU Weather. I'm meteorologist Jay Karstens.
And I'm student meteorologist Colby Pope. And hey, we're in March and it's officially meteorological spring. And hey, we did have some spring-like weather today with those storms that moved through at lunchtime.
Yeah. That was a very interesting, pretty rumbles of thunder out there. Something I really didn't expect this line to kind of hold together here, and that was a nice way to ring in, or interesting way at least, to ring in the month of March after a February that was notable for both its heat and its dry conditions.
Yeah, we had, was it the fourth driest? Or
the fourth warmest February on record for us, as well as the seventh driest. Only had about 1.12 inches of rain for the entire month, and we almost got that today. So setting a pretty good precedent here as we get into meteorological spring.
Really are, and where the showers move through. But I don't think, we're talking about spring, but don't put the long sleeves away just yet, because we are talking some colder temperatures next week for lows. I think I saw some 30s on that 7 day, so we'll have to watch for that.
A lot of the rest of the country is going to be feeling that in a big way. So as we prepare for a lot of people across the country to be angry at a certain groundhog, we're going to go out to the wall with Dylan standing by for an overview of tonight's show.
Folks, I'm not angry. I'm enjoying these temperatures. It is Friday, great day out. We did see some rain earlier this morning, but that has moved through. Some showers still linger by. 68 degrees right now at the airport. Mostly cloudy skies and a light breeze out of the south, so bringing in just a tad bit more moisture. You do see on our radar, most of those strong storms moved off, but there are still some storms popping up behind it. So not that big squall line you can kind of see at the beginning of this loop, but still some storms are possible as we go into tonight. And zooming out at the big picture, we do have these two frontal boundaries that are situated over Tallahassee. Sorry, those two aren't drawn. We do have a frontal boundary drawn over Tallahassee that's going to move its way through, and then another front will come in and bring more rain. As you see in the next 3 days, we have rain chances sticking around for the next couple of days through Tallahassee. Getting down, though, cooler temperatures as the front comes through, and seeing that cold front bring some cool temperatures. And then we have an unsettled pattern coming through. Then we have the possibility of severe weather, which we'll talk about later on the show. And then those cold temperatures, which I enjoy, are going to come and cool us off and relieve us from these above average temperatures that we saw a lot in Tallahassee. But now we're going to send it over to the desk. We're going to take a look at the next metro area.
Well, thanks, Dylan. And hey, this is something we do every Friday. We have to pick our next metro area. And actually, you'll be doing today's metro area.
Yeah, I'll be heading out to the wall later on in the show doing the DC Metro. Some wintry precipitation if you're a snow bunny out there. So make sure you tune in for that in about 5 minutes. But for now, we're going to pick next week's metro.
Well, I'll let you do the honors. And you want a little drum roll?
Yeah, give me the drum roll. Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh, Albuquerque.
You like the warmth and you like the dry weather? Next week's your show.
Yeah, a little bit of desert southwest, so very comfortable out there. Have you ever been to New Mexico?
No, I've only, the furthest west I've been is Colorado, but I mean, they've actually been seeing a lot of rain for, it's very abnormal for New
the atmospheric river coming into California is giving them a lot of precip, so it's been a very active pattern across the desert southwest.
Definitely something to look forward to next week as we go on with Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Well, now let's throw things over to Sarah with our first look at the local forecast here around Tallahassee.
Yeah, thanks guys. So here in our almanac, we did almost get up to our average of 69 degrees for a high day, but look at that low. Very muggy, as we did have some showers move through our area, sitting at our low of 62 degrees where we should be right now into the 40s. Now current conditions right now, we are dropping a little bit as we have 68 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. As those showers moved off, we started to see that sun come back just for that late afternoon time. Just a slight breeze at 6 miles per hour. Now zooming out into the Big Bend area, most places are sitting pretty nice out there as we have 68 in Tallahassee, 72 into Bainbridge, and 66 into Blakely. Seeing some showers, lingering showers over into Blakely. Now current dew points right now, we're on the fence of comfortable to starting to get a bit uncomfortable as you're going out there. So not like you're really swimming through the air, but it's getting really close as we have a lot of these winds coming out from the south, bringing up that Gulf moisture, and also due to those storms that move through from that frontal system into our area. Most places sitting pretty nice, pretty calm winds out. And there's our satellite radar showing those storms that did move off. We do see a few pop-up showers into our western viewer area. So the moisture and that wet conditions are going to continue for here in the Big Bend area. Nothing too serious. And we also have this frontal system that's going to push its way through, keeping that moisture and that rain chances up. And then we'll have another system could potentially bring it into some severe weather and also some winter precip up into the northeast, which we'll talk about more. Colby will talk more in his national. Now for the next 24 hours, just going to keep that cloud cover, mostly cloudy skies for that evening if you're going out and about. clearing up as we get into later into the evening, keeping those southerly winds, making it pretty muggy out there. And then moving on to Saturday, going to have that cloud cover continue and another round of some scattered showers and storms on to Saturday. So definitely have to keep that umbrella with you and keep your eye to the sky as you're going out onto your weekend and continue to see those showers. So maybe not a good time to go out to the res because you're going to have to see those showers. But other than that, not too bad. Looking on into Sunday, though, we do have that chance of some severe weather. Leon County sitting halfway into this slight risk of some severe weather, so could possibly see some isolated severe thunderstorms out there, maybe some damaging winds and some storms seeing some frequent lightning. So make sure you're keeping up to date and being weather aware. Do not be out if there is a lot of lightning out there. Now for tonight, going to be really nice out there. Still see maybe some pockets of isolated showers moving off through. Quincy at 61, 63 in Tallahassee, and Perry at 62. Now if you want to go out to the beach, you're going to have the chance, you have to watch out for some chances of some showers, so maybe not the best time to go out, especially since we're going to have, when that sun is out, going to have a high index, but water's sitting really nice out there. And then for your dog walking forecast, definitely have that umbrella with you as we're sitting at 66 and that chance of some showers as you're moving out through the day, warming up to that high of 77. Now tomorrow, another warm, muggy conditions continue as we have 77 all around, mostly for the Big Bend. Going to quickly wrap up this weekend forecast. There's this rain going to continue on into Saturday and Sunday. Monday, dropping our temperatures, giving us a little bit cool down, bringing us a little bit more into spring-like. But for now, I'm going to send things over to Jake with the Southeast.
All right, thanks a lot, Sarah. And we'll zoom out here and see a little bit more of that frontal system that, that Sarah was alluding to just a little bit earlier here. We see 71 degrees right now in Montgomery. You drive just a little bit off to the west over towards Jackson, Mississippi. That temperature has dropped a whopping 16 degrees in a pretty short space here. Even colder temperatures up towards Tennessee and portions of Arkansas as well, with a lot of heat settling in the western portions of the state of Texas. And as for those dew points across the southeastern region, again, that cold front is very well defined here in terms of this here. Much more moisture off to the east. 64-degree dew point currently here in Tallahassee, 66 over towards New Orleans, and you make that short drive just about 3 or 4 hours or so off to the north, and Jackson is all the way down to about 49 degrees there. So we're seeing further evidence of that if we look at those winds here, largely out of the south, out ahead of this front, including the Florida Panhandle. Plenty of this convergence that we see right along the frontal boundary as well, helping to initiate some of these thunderstorms that are still moving their way through our region here. We saw some lighter showers on the radar just a little bit earlier, and of course we had that pretty big time line of storms that came through in the late morning to early afternoon hours, prompting many severe weather warnings across the Florida Panhandle, all the way over towards Jacksonville. Even a tornado warning I noticed earlier today, right near the I-10, I-75 interchange there. So a pretty big deal in terms of a lot of people commuting here. And again, still some showers funneling in from west to east across much of the near, I guess, Tallahassee area here. The Florida Panhandle areas of southwestern Georgia getting in on some of that action. And if you move up to the north here near the center of the low, up into portions of the Carolinas, Virginia, the mid-Atlantic, starting to see some heavier rainfall as well as that transition to wintry precipitation in some of those locations, even getting up towards D.C., as AJ will talk about later on tonight's show. I see him celebrating over there. Shout out to you. Look at zoom in here at the Carolinas. Raleigh and Charlotte getting some pretty big time rainfall right now, moving up into pretty much a big swath of the state of Virginia, and you see that rain snow line as it gets closer into those 30s, really moving its way up to the north. So as for the next 48 hours, that system will move offshore over the Atlantic Ocean. We'll see some spotty showers persisting for much of the southeast, really right along the Interstate 10 corridor in the northern Gulf of Mexico. Tomorrow afternoon until Sunday, we start to see the evidence of a pretty big system working its way into the southeast. That'll bring us the potential for severe weather on Sunday night here in Tallahassee, with a slight risk of severe weather as indicated by the Storm Prediction Center that you see right here. Pretty big swath of the region. Areas like Montgomery, Birmingham, all the way over towards Jackson and Baton Rouge could see the risk for isolated, scattered, severe thunderstorms, damaging winds being the primary threat with that. As for tonight's forecast, again, you really see that sharp divide between warm and cool. 63 degrees in Tallahassee. You move up towards Little Rock and Nashville, temperatures are going to be down in the middle 30s here. The Atlanta Gulf forecast for tomorrow, we see temperatures going to be largely in the 40s, moving up towards about 60 degrees by afternoon here. And as for tomorrow, 76 degrees in New Orleans, mostly cloudy skies sticking around there. Some rainfall possible in Dallas. We see a nice little wedge of colder air moving in through Oklahoma as well as portions of Texas, evidence of that big cool down that's to come early next week. Now going to take things over to the desk where Dylan and Sarah are standing by.
Thank you very much, Jake. And we're going to break down that storm that's going to make its way through into Sunday and Monday and how it affects the Northeast. And we're going to take a little more in-depth look into how it's affecting it and how it moves through.
Yeah, definitely. For most of the Northeast, they could be potentially seeing up to a foot of snow, and even in the Midwest, seeing some snow out there as well. And Colby will talk more about these warnings out there, but we're just giving a brief summary of what's going on.
Right. I mean, you look at it now. This is Sunday at 11:40. Yes. You're seeing that nice rain-snow line dividing between Oklahoma and Oklahoma and Colorado as well. You see snow farther north and those rains and showers farther south. And then as we push it ahead a little bit, you see the storm move eastward, and you still see that rain-snow line, but you see some stronger rain showers.
Yeah, definitely. That's why a lot of areas into the southeast are under that slight risk of possibly seeing some isolated severe weather with frequent lightning, or as Jake says, some gusty winds out there, damaging winds.
Yeah, and with those snow values, you can see up to 6 to 12 inches of snow anywhere. Farther eastward and northward, you're going to see more of that snow, and it's very localized too. Yeah. It's not going to be a lot of snow. You're not going to see widespread 12 inches of snow, but it is possible to see a bit of it. And as we go on a little further, you see how those strong storms really fire up.
Yeah, you can see those oranges and reds indicating of more heavier rainfall. So this can also affect flight cancellations and also travel delays if you're going out into your weekend onto Sunday.
Yeah, and then as we push it a little further in, though, you do see that nice snow divide getting up into the northeast and getting some snow activity farther north in Philadelphia and Ohio Valley, seeing again 6 to 12 inches and possibility of cancellation of school into Monday.
Yeah, definitely. And then I know behind this, once the system passes, we're going to have another Arctic blast come through, bringing in those colder temperatures. That's why a lot of people are very angry with this groundhog. Yeah, spring is not really sticking around.
Not a good meteorologist, that groundhog is. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a degree, but we're working towards ours. So now let's send it over to the wall with Colby to take a national look.
Hey, thanks guys. And looking at these temperatures across the country, really cold air coming in out of Canada. You can see that frontal system there. We're waiting on the graphics where I can give you some actual numbers, because you really want to put some numbers with these, because we had some negative values that were trying to come in out of Canada. Lowest value there, 18 there in Billings, so really cold air even right now into the afternoon time hours, especially coming up into the northern tier of the country. 39 there in Denver, so just above freezing. 60 there in Los Angeles, 77, very warm and balmy there in Phoenix. 63 over in Albuquerque. That'll be our next city that we'll do actually next Friday for your metro forecast. Dew point values, a lot of dry air out into the western portions of the country, 24-degree dew point there in Denver. And we're having a lot of onshore flow coming off the Gulf of Mexico. That's giving us a dew point of 66 in the Big Easy there in New Orleans, 64 there in Tallahassee. So really a lot of moisture coming in off the Gulf of Mexico for the southeast. Story today is going to be this cold front across the middle portion of the country, allowing a lot of cold air coming down, and then we've got the next disturbance that's off into the Pacific. That low pressure area will go into the California, into the desert Southwest, and then eventually the Four Corners and even into the Plain States, giving us a lot of precip and a lot of turbulence across the country as far as weather goes. Several weather patterns that we'll have to talk about over the next several days. Showers from Virginia back down into North Carolina. Change over there with the altitude. You can see into portions of West Virginia, and then even starting to creep close to the nation's capital there of Washington, D.C. And this is going to actually be a barrage of winter weather alerts. We've got the winter storm warning up toward Chesapeake Bay, and then changes back over to winter weather advisory. That's for that snow that we're seeing move into locations there into the northeast. And then we go on down to the south and back off to the eastern portions, western portions of the Florida Panhandle. We start to have some showers and storms starting to develop. That's from a line about New Orleans back to the north and east across southern portions of Georgia. We're going to have to watch those as we go into the evening time hours. That main system we had moved through across lunchtime. That's kind of pushed off over into the Gulf, out into the Atlantic Ocean. If you travel 994 across Wisconsin back toward Minneapolis, St. Paul, it's going to be a slow go. We've got some snow showers there falling. Pretty good clip there across the, we're going to be Wisconsin there and even Minnesota, even northern portions of Iowa getting in there on the snowfall. Those are the winter weather alerts with that advisory there. A couple inches will start to add to that system there. And then heading out into the Pacific Northwest, a system there that's starting to push in, and it's giving a lot of snowfall. Places like Great Falls, Montana, back into Idaho, up into the Rockies. Even northern portions of Oregon having a lot of snowfall there with that system. It's going to be a very busy next 24 hours. If we've got that next system that's moving in off the Pacific Ocean, that'll be moving back and off to the east. You'll notice how this Four Corners area and then back into Saturday, if we'll keep that going there, the Four Corners region of the country really becomes to life. There was a lot of snow and even rain. And then as we go into Saturday, that changeover that you'll see, well, if we went a little further, I'd show you that system that's going to come a little closer to our neck of the woods. But for tonight, look at the negative values there in Billings. We're going to have to watch out for some snowfall there. 38 there in Dallas-Fort Worth. So really that cold air surging into the United States. And then for tomorrow, those values much warmer for the southeast and then much colder into the northern tier of the country. And that's what we're going to have to be looking at as we go into March 7th through the 11th. It's that cold trend there that we're seeing with that cold air surging in the northern tier of the country and a little bit of warmer into the southern portions of the country. But now we're going to take a look at Washington, D.C. I'm going to hand things over to AJ Willie.
Yeah, I know Colby did just tease it here a little bit. But currently around the D.C. metro area, we have some winter storm watches up into the northern parts of Maryland in Frederick County. Currently, Washington, D.C. sitting at 36 degrees, 33 degrees there in College Park. And you can see that these temperatures are very close to that freezing point of 32 degrees, which is going to be a concern as I get later on in the segments when you see the type of precipitation that they're going to be getting. Current dew points around the D.C. metro area are all in the low 30s, and that you can see as those dew points and those temperatures are very close to each other, we can expect there to be plenty of moisture in the air for some precipitation to fall throughout D.C. and the surrounding areas. Our wind speed and direction are coming off from the northeast, and if you've been watching the show all night, you know that there's a low pressure system situated way down in the bottom corner of this map down into Virginia. So there's a lot of convergence coming down from the northeast into where the cold front is. So that's where we're getting all that rising motion. You can see that here on your satellite radar. You can see the showers and storms starting to move into the DC area as over the last 3 hours here. This is a 3-hour radar loop. You can see showers started moving in right about 5 o'clock. You can see up here you got some mixed precipitation, and then you got some snow up into the higher elevations of Frederick County, moving into other parts of Maryland as well. If I zoom on out here, you can see this low pressure system that's been the story of the entire show associated with this cold front here, bringing a lot of moisture and a lot of cooler temperatures into parts of Virginia. My hometown is right there. Didn't quite make it into the D.C. metro area. I'm about 2 hours south of D.C., but I know I saw some reports earlier that they saw some sleet. So that's something to consider if you're up around the D.C. area as these showers and storms move northeast into the New England area later on tonight. So we get into Friday night, we have some showers move through and that chance for some mixed precipitation. And then as we get into tonight's forecast, we got 34 degrees for D.C., so we're going to be hovering right around that freezing point. As we get into tomorrow, the rain will move out of D.C., bringing some much milder and more spring-like conditions for much of the D.C. metro area. But for now, I'm going to send things off to Jake with a little more local look at around Florida.
Speaking of spring-like temperatures, let's talk about what's going on across the Sunshine State because the warmth is settling in for really everywhere south of Interstate 4. We start off those current temperatures across the state largely in the 70s. Gainesville's a little bit cooler at 69 degrees, 68 up here in Tallahassee, but temperatures trying to crack the 80-degree point as we work a little bit further south. Orlando, Fort Myers, and Miami all getting fairly close to that point. And of course, Key West down there on the water sitting at a beautiful 80 degrees under some bright sunshine as that sunset is approaching down there. Dew points largely in the 60s. That's nothing that Floridians are not exactly used to, of course. These values are largely in the middle and lower 60s for much of the state. And again, Key West being so close to the water is a little bit higher at 68 degrees. We see on the wind speeds here evidence of that frontal system that's really been making an impact across the Florida Panhandle. Southerly winds working in out of the Gulf of Mexico, helping to supply even more of that moisture here to really support the growth of these thunderstorms, especially that line that moved through the Florida Panhandle earlier today, prompting severe weather warnings from Leon County all the way off towards Duval and out over the Atlantic Ocean earlier in the afternoon. These winds aren't very strong, but still something to keep in mind in terms of supplying more of that moisture, which is helping to produce some thunderstorms still working in through the Tallahassee region here. We'll zoom into northwestern Florida right now and give that a little bit more of a detailed peek. A lot of the rain is off of the coast right now, but some of these coastal areas along US 98 getting some light to moderate rainfall, perhaps a rumble of thunder in there. That will continue tonight with temperatures once again well above average, largely in those lower 60s for much of the Florida Panhandle. As we work off towards northeastern Florida, again, that heavy line of storms has moved well offshore in the last couple of hours, got through Jacksonville right about 3 o'clock here, prompting some severe weather warnings, with the threat of hail and damaging winds being a legitimate possibility with some of those. We got some hail reports out of Monticello pretty close to home here. As for tonight, temperatures largely around 60 degrees, should be clearing out a little bit more than what we're going to be seeing in the Panhandle, so a much better picture for all of you guys out there in northeastern Florida. And as for the satellite radar down south, not really too much going on, looking like a pretty quiet day, except for a lone storm just south of Alligator Alley, I-75. As for the rest of the night here, temperatures largely in those mid to upper 60s. And for the next 24 hours, we'll look for the possibility of some scattered showers and storms to really persist through much of North Florida with that continued southwesterly flow out ahead of the cold front through the rest of the day tomorrow here. So starting to work into a bit of north central Florida as well for those of us out there. So now we'll take things over to the desk where AJ and Sarah have our campus events.
Yeah, we've got plenty of events going on around the Tallahassee area tonight, or not just tonight, but throughout the weekend. Plenty of sporting events if you're going to be not studying for your Synoptic 2 test like I will. plenty of events
Yes.
to go to.
Yeah, we have basketball, the men's basketball game playing against NC State. The good thing is it's indoors, so you don't have to worry about the chance of some showers, sitting at 71 degrees.
Yeah, we got 2 more home basketball games, so make sure to go out and support the Knowles. And
Definitely.
we also got your beach volleyball has a doubleheader
Yes.
on tomorrow. That's going to be Saturday, so that's noon 3. Temperatures are looking pretty
Warm.
nice for tomorrow. I don't know if I agree with those, but I think there's going to be a little chance of rain in there for tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. And then we have our FSU baseball. We're playing against Mercier. If I said that right, 75 degrees. Do have a chance of some showers out there, so maybe bring a poncho just in case if you run into a little sprinkle here and there.
Yeah, and then our #1 ranked FSU women's softball team, still undefeated, will be playing UCF tomorrow. That's also going to be a doubleheader, just like the beach volleyball. Temperatures will be on the warmer side, so it's definitely going to be a nice day to head out and watch the #1 ranked women's softball team.
And then also we have women's basketball team playing against Georgia Tech. That's going to be pretty rainy over there too. Heavy rain Sunday at 1 p.m. So definitely tune in and cheer our women's basketball team.
Yep, and then finally, my favorite sport, as if anybody decided to watch, they know I love golf, and the Florida State golf team is going to be at Carencia Golf Club, which is in Cabo San Lucas, which is a course that I will be playing on my honeymoon in May.
Ooh.
So I'm really excited to see how the golf team does there so that I can go there and show them up.
And then we also have Golf 2.0. We also have the Honda Classic as well, as sitting pretty warm out there, 84 degrees, but sunshine over there. And
yeah, it's gonna be a gorgeous weekend for golf down into the southern part of Florida. So if you live down in South Florida around that area, make sure to head out to the golf course. It's gonna be the perfect weekend to do that.
yeah, definitely a step over up here. We're going to be a little bit on the wetter side, having to dodge a few showers and storms up here. But for now, I think we're going to send things back over to the wall with our last local.
Thanks, guys. And I realized on yesterday's show that as a child, I had a bear that when you would squeeze it, it said, "I love to golf." So I was destined to love golf since that I had that bear. But in Tallahassee, where it's not golf weather right now, 68 degrees, mostly cloudy, just a slight breeze. Feeling nice outside, a little nice of a sunset. I'll move off just a second. You can kind of see it with the nice clouds, seeing those pinks and purples, but nothing too pretty as we've seen in the past couple of days so far. Just a tad too much cloud cover. And throughout much of the region, they're seeing some cloud cover of their own. And then you see on the western part, they're a little warmer than the eastern part of the counties. That's because they've seen a little bit more rain today and more recent rain, so they're cooler off. But behind where they've had clearer skies and a chance to warm up, well, you got some 70s and 68s, and then ahead of that, you got 65 in Perry and 63 in Valdosta. As we look at our dew points, well, we're all uniform in that aspect, seeing really mid-60s everywhere on the map, feeling just a tad muggy. I don't know, you're feeling like a tadpole, honestly. It's just not too nice outside, just a bit moisture, and that's due to these southerly winds coming off the coast, bringing in that Gulf moisture that we're just typical of seeing here in the Big Bend region. What else would you expect? It's almost spring, but it's not spring just yet. It's meteorological spring. And as we look at that rain cover, you do see some strong storms farther south of our viewing area, kind of splitting the uprights between these strong storms north of us and strong storms south of us here in Tallahassee. But we did have some strong rain move through. Cloud cover is present, and those rain chances stick around all throughout tonight as a shower or two could come through. And this is due to this low pressure system in that boundary down over in the southeast bringing that rain. You see some stronger storms off of Jacksonville that have made through this morning. And if you were in class this morning, you might not have been able to go home with that rain. And we have our next system it's a complicated mess where these two systems combine and a third system comes in and brings us some strong storms as we get into the next couple of days. For tomorrow, though, those spotty showers from that front still stick around as you see some cloud cover and spotty showers in the morning. And then into the afternoon, you still have those rain chances, but not as prevalent, and the cloud cover is sticking around. But as we get into Sunday, that's really the big maker of the rain. You have this system that we talked about on the desk come through. Bringing the rain chances Sunday evening is really the greatest part of the chance. And with those rain chances, we have the threat for some severe weather. We're on a slight risk, which is a level 2 on the storm outlook, and that has the possibility of a tornado, strong winds, hail is possible with these storms, and some lightning as we go into Sunday evening is really when you're going to see the biggest threat over in the eastern part. Sunday morning and midday, you're going to see it more in the central part of this slight risk area. As we go into tonight's forecast, though a chance of shower is possible, not too bad. It is foggy, and you're going to see some fog in the morning. Then when we get into tomorrow, though, those rain chances are sticking around. Chances of showers are all day. It's not just, oh, in the morning we're going to see rain. No, it's all throughout the day. You're going to possibly see a shower or two. 77 degrees, just a tad warm if you're going out to the basketball game. And as we look at the next couple of days, well, we have those rain showers tomorrow, clearing out Sunday morning, but Sunday evening you have that 70% chance of rain, so seeing some storms then. Clearing out, though, for Monday morning and giving a nice, cool, chilly, and beautiful week ahead. I mean, 3 days without showers on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then lows dripping down back into the 30s. And right now I'm going to take it back to the desk where we're going to talk about this 7-day just a little more because I forgot I'm on this desk.
Well, before we get into that, I gotta say that tadpole joke was maybe not your finest effort, but I'm proud of you for not, incorrectly saying that we had a monster truck forecast and then laughing for the next 45 seconds.
I think all of my jokes are misses, Jake, so for you viewers out there, I apologize for every joke I have made and will make in the future.
I mean, if you hit 3 out of 10 in baseball, you're in the Hall of Fame, am I right?
So I'm not in the Hall of Fame of FSU
You just gotta keep trying. But, all right, we'll take a look at that 7-day forecast again.
This 7-day forecast might be a Hall of Fame forecast, though, Jake.
Yeah, I'm not personally minding seeing those colder temperatures working their way in Tuesday and Wednesday. Of course, to get there, we're going to have to get through some not so nice conditions, especially Sunday night, where, as you said, we're at a level 2 out of 5 slight risk for severe weather as issued by the Storm Prediction Center.
Yes, you want to take your precautions, listen to the National Weather Service, have your weather radio ready just in case something pops up. Be weather aware.
Yeah, as is customary for our typical severe weather sort of outlook for Tallahassee, damaging winds is the primary threat, but as today showed us, we can't rule out the possibility of hail. We saw a hail report coming out of nearby Monticello, just over to the east in Jefferson County. Quarter-sized hail was reported in areas just off to our north and east. So
yeah, it's something to take precautions. Just be aware of this event coming through. But once we get through that, great conditions, highs in the 50s. Might need a little more layers than you're used to. No, maybe not the shorts weather unless Luke Karsten's wearing shorts.
Yeah, of course. Shout out to my brother out there who claims that 34 degrees is shorts weather. But we're going to take one last run at freezing temperatures over the next few days before we finally start to transition into more of that spring regime.
Yeah, you might see some frost on your car in the morning. It is possible. And you can keep up with us all over social media as well.
Yeah, we're on Facebook and Twitter and all the other things that you could ever imagine. Our handle, in a very shocking turn of events, is FSU Weather for a lot of these things.
Yeah, just follow us there. It's on the screen if you want to reference it back. Pause the video, go back. We're on YouTube if you want to watch all our old broadcasts and you missed something in the live broadcast.
Yeah, of course, and we'll be back live here for you guys Monday night, 6 o'clock, same time as always. For all of us here at FSU Weather, I'm meteorologist Jay Karstens.
I'm student meteorologist Dylan Leaf. Stay classy, Tallahassee.
Have a good weekend.